What's going on, guys? It's Metsu here. Now, I'd like to start this video off by saying that the idea of this video was brought to me by a subscriber who would like to get into Fortnite, who is now into Fortnite, but still wanted to see a getting into Fortnite type video for beginners. So that's what I'll be attempting to do, going over the presentation, the gameplay, the progression system, and then my final verdict for beginners getting into Fortnite. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting us off will be the presentation. The way Fortnite first presents itself makes it seem as though you'll be exploring this vast world, town to town, looting carefully and fending not only yourself, but survivors as well against the hordes of quote-unquote husks. Previously, Fortnite didn't even have designated heroes. More or less, the players played as survivors themselves to scavenge and just survive. Now, after playing the introduction, the key of the game is to expand your quote-unquote home shield defense along with different atlases around the world in order to purify locations from husk invasions. In my opinion, this is a really cool concept, though I'm still curious of how different the game may have been if we had to worry more about ourselves and were more afraid of the night that brought these husks. Gameplay. The gameplay is actually pretty solid. Looking at the game's core, it gives off the tower defense vibe. I've recently noticed that this game can be similarly compared to the game Sanctum. Though it may not be as complex, you're still able to form passive walls for the aliens to follow in order to lead them into traps. In Fortnite, you're able to build a vast fortification to your liking in order to defend the coming storm. Something that I really like about this game is that the AI is semi-cautious to how dangerous a certain path may be. So, they'll end up trying to find a safer path to take in order to avoid any damage and still destroy the objective. Now, majority of the missions requires you to fortify and defend an objective. However, there are other types of missions, such as encampments. These missions get you better at combat. Rescue the survivors. This gets you used to saving the NPCs. And then there's build the radar grid, in which gets you better at the building aspect of the game, teach you how to edit the different blueprints you can shape your walls, floors, stairs, and pyramids into. Progression. A while back, Fortnite had a scene in their trailer of the players walking through a warehouse full of loot. To be honest, nothing like this will ever happen in Fortnite, since everything evolves around the loot llamas, they call it. So let's break down each type of progression. We have story. The game provides a set amount of quest pages to complete in order to move on to the next section of the map. You'll be doing a lot of the same missions in order to complete the main quest line objectives. This can easily start to get tedious due to having to do the same type of missions in the same kind of areas over and over again with the enemies whom gradually get stronger over time. Heroes, defenders, survivors, traps, and weapons. Throughout your time playing Fortnite, you'll be able to save up the microcurrency V-Bucks in order to buy the loot llamas that are built into the game. These llamas can give you a very small amount of loot to even giving you a bunch of loot. This loot comes in a mixture of heroes, defenders, and survivor cards, along with trap/weapon schematics. In order to level up anything, you need the designated kind of XP from recycling these cards/schematics. Things of course get pricey once you do begin to level things up, and then the tedious grind begins of having to save up for llamas. P.S. Mind you, I didn't go into detail of needing to farm for the evolution requirements as well. Skills. There are two different types of skill trees. You have the base skill tree, and then there's the research skill tree. The base skill tree comes from simply completing missions and gaining commander XP to fill up the bar. You aren't necessarily leveling up, because you increase your commander rank by having stronger survivors and what have you on your team. As for your research skill tree, you gain what the game calls it research points over time. Similar to most mobile games as to where you can let your phone rest and then you can come back to collect your gold. Upon collecting these points, you then spend it on perk nodes. Simple as that. The final verdict. My final verdict for beginners wanting to get into Save the World would be to make sure that you're pulled into the building aspect of the game and would like a fresh new take on the tower defense genre. The gameplay trailer along with the cinematic trailer gives off false impressions in my opinion. I would have loved to build random forts in the middle of the forest as they showed off in order to defend yourself from the storm, and I would have loved it even more to be able to sneak into the Durburger to find a survivor who could actually defend themselves, unlike the ones we have in the game. When it boils down to it, you'll be collecting material only to defend the storm shield along with world mission objectives. The gameplay is great, but not nearly as good as the trailers portray them out to be. I'll be making further videos on Fortnite if you all are interested on what thoughts I have on the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.